Welcome back to Biz Today. I am Nazareen Ebrahim. Before the break, we were speaking with our success story of the week. In studio this week, we're speaking with Fyvie, who's the Sales and Marketing Director at Green Office. It is a leader in terms of South African leaders in document and print managed solutions for corporates. They're leading change in organizations in terms of sustainable solutions to run their organizations. Now, before the break, we were talking about characteristics of successful entrepreneurs. Let's take that conversation, because during the break we were continuing that conversation, talking about confidence and self-belief. How are you developing that with your employees in the organization? Because your organization is built on specific values.
Yeah, I suppose the best way to explain it is if you don't know where you're going, it's quite hard to get there. So certainly as a business, we try and encourage people to have their own growth path, and really get an understanding of what they want and where they want to go. But as I say, if you're going to go on a holiday, you're kind of not just going to get in the car and say, "Oh, we're going." You're going to plan something. You're going to kind of have a destination that you want to get to, and you got to book tickets, and you got to whatever you need to do to make that holiday happen. And I think that's the same for everything you do. So I think a roadmap is an important component. And as I said to you in the break, is that often people will come and say to me, I want to grow in this business, and I kind of always give them a stock standard answer. So okay, cool. Well, what are you going to do about it? Because I can't help them grow. They've got to help themselves. So, and then really just plant the seed that they need to think about where they want to go and how they're going to get there. So yeah, we try and encourage that as much as possible.
So I think entrepreneurs in sourcing great talent for good growth of the business should always look for those with an entrepreneurial mindset. Is that what you say?
Yeah, look, I don't think everybody is cut out to be an entrepreneur, and it's difficult, and that's probably why. So but that doesn't mean that you can't be the best at what you do. Right. And if you're the best at what you do, you're going to be successful at it, because people are going to want you. So you might not own the business, but you might be the best at selling in the business, or you might be the best at running operations in the business. So for me, everybody has their niche and what they want, and I think what we try and do is encourage them to become the best.
Before we move on to Green Able, which excited me a lot when I first had a conversation with you guys at the office. When you first set up office, you obviously have your head office here in Durban. Yes. And I know, speaking to a lot of startup entrepreneurs and entrepreneurs who are growing their businesses now in the second, third year of the life of the business, look to different parts of the country to establish a new presence. You've got a presence in Johannesburg, in Cape Town. What are the things entrepreneurs should think about when they're looking to broaden their horizons in terms of business?
Yeah, I think any kind of growth is dependent on people at the end of the day. So you've got to have the right people to believe in what your kind of end goal is and drive that process. But I think growth is, and making that step and branching out is everything costs. So it's understanding the model and what you need to make it successful in that region, and then duplicate it, I think, and again, I refer to people because people are going to drive it. So selecting the right people is critical. But if the model is there and it's sound and people want to buy what you've got to offer them, then it can be successful anywhere if you have the right people. So for us, that we've had the model and we've kind of copied the same thing and then followed it with good people in the regions, and I suppose Joburg and Cape Town are areas that are, in terms of size or and population, of the biggest cities in our country. But that doesn't mean we can't duplicate it worldwide. So for me, that's what we've got to do. We've got to really look at at how we can basically duplicate this and make it something that can be bought anywhere in the world.
100% great. I'm sure our viewers have taken away some lessons from there in terms of how to grow the business if broadening their horizons. Now, I know Green Office to be a company that's committed to empowering individuals around them and communities. And as a result, you've introduced Green Able. Please tell us more about it.
Yeah, look, I must say, like, there's a big drive in terms of creating jobs in the country. The big waste problem in the country, and I mean, having the name Green Office and being a remanufacturer of toner cartridges, which is one of the components of the managed print service offering, we got to a stage where we were dumping a lot of plastic the right way, but still it wasn't good enough for us. And I say that you can't really be preaching that you're trying to make people more efficient and sustainable, but now you're not being sustainable because you're dumping all this plastic into landfills, which has the ramifications on destroying our earth. So Green Able was born, and I'd love to take the credit for it, but it was actually a lady, Carla, that was in the organization with a passion for the environment. And she said, I'm not happy about this. I really don't like this going to landfill. And really what happened was Green Able was born from that. And the business model and it's a non-profit company. And if truth be said, it's not there for profit. It's there because of the purpose of Green Able is really about creating employment for people and creating employability for people. So the process is really to take the waste and separate the plastics, take the toner out, and all the components that make up print, and then really take that plastic and turn it into something that you can put back into the market. So through this process, we saw another need, and we looked at and I think it came from my rugby days, where I'm involved with the Chris Berger Petro Jackson Fund, and we saw that there are a lot of people out there who are disabled that are 100% fine, but don't have an employment opportunity because they don't have a qualification. And we saw it as an opportunity to give them to earn some money. Okay, not the most glamorous job, and it's an opportunity, but the opportunity for me is for them to get the equivalent of a matric, and really look at where they want to go, and that's why we call it an employment incubator, because we don't want people to stay there. They must move on. They must go and get into what their passion is and follow their dream. So that's where Green Able came, and for me, it makes me incredibly proud to be a part of it, and to see what Green Able does, and it's only going from small to bigger to better, and that for me is very encouraging.
I know your Green Office has been recognized many times for their achievements and outstanding credibility. So we have to say congratulations on that kind of initiative, because it's one that provides sustainability and addresses the unemployment crisis in the country, including people who are generally marginalized. We have the majority of our unemployed who are able-bodied graduates, or people come out straight from school looking to develop their skill sets. But of course, you focused on the truly marginalized who may not have any employment ability going into the future. So if there's any way that viewers can help, we'd love to know if there's any way that viewers can help.
Yeah, you know what, and I think in all these cases, it's always difficult singling out people, but again, it comes up, it really does depend on the person, and I will get on to how people can help now, but I think for me, the success stories have been what really drives us to keep it going. And we've had one guy who, I think, his mother wouldn't send him to school because he couldn't speak, and he had a speaking impediment. So his disability was there, but this guy is incredibly bright, and he read a lot, and he almost self-taught himself, and he's now gone on from strength to strength. So those success stories are really what it's about. And I always say, the end result is someone coming out the end a better person and following their dreams. So there are a lot of success stories. I think, how can people help? Well, the simplicity of it is, cartridges are, and this is the easiest way to help, and I think everybody can help, is cartridges get thrown into landfills, and they pollute our landfills, and we have had our problems in our little town of late, which I'm sure a lot of the viewers will know about. But for me, is don't throw them away. For us, we collect them, and when I say that, Green Office and then Green Able basically recycle them. So your job is, when you're really feeling like you want to throw it away, make sure you give us a call, and we'll take it off your hands and make sure Green Able stays alive.
100%. So all those details are up on screen. You'd be able to get in touch with Green Office. Wayne, it's been such a pleasure having you in studio, understanding your organization, and also knowing how you're contributing positively to South Africa. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much for having me.
Wonderful. If you want to know more about Green Office, the details are up on screen. You can get in touch with Green Office, talk to them about their Green Able program and the company itself, and find out how you can also make a difference merely by simply giving them empty cartridges, which I know it's so simple to throw it away in the bin, but you don't need to do that. You can actually make a change. Now, if you need to get in touch with us, find us on Facebook, Biz Today, or Twitter, BizToday_ZA. Any questions for me, or if you have any suggestions about people you'd like to see on the show, then just email me, naz@sociallyacceptable.co.za. Until next week, goodbye.